Okay, so now what I want everybody to do on some blank paper, get 2 pages, right? 2 pages blank paper. And then what I want you to do is to copy this down twice, once on each sheet of paper. The first one you'll fill in as we continue to go through the pre-writing process with this example paper that I'm developing. And the second one you'll use when you sit down to write your own essay of examples, exemplification essay, right? So this is the rule of 3. Now you'll notice that in this outline, it's 1, 2, 3, and then under each, it's A, B, C, A, B, C, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, what we want to do is transfer over those examples that were proving why the red apple plant was my worst job. And if you remember, right, what they were, so these are examples. These are things that prove why working at the red apple plant was my worst job, right? So again, we're working with essay of examples. See my examples. Now, what I want to do next, underneath each example, is come up with 3 shows, 3 little tidbits to show and prove each example. So remember, if you reflect back, showing and telling, so those skills, everything is starting just to pile on here. We're utilizing all of those writing skills that we've been working with. So now what would be some ways to show that the work was hard, right? I can remember that it was very, very fast-paced. I had to lift lots and lots of cartons of apple juice, and that there was lots of heavy lifting. What I mean by poor pay, right? I was paid the minimum wage. If I dropped or broke anything, dented a can, that was deducted from my pay. There were deductions. And since the pay was so poor, I worked as much overtime as I possibly could. What about the conditions? Well, the conditions were kind of dangerous, what I thought was dangerous at the time. In addition, worked at the loading dock when I had to load. The floors were cold. And then after we were done, we had to clean out the apple vats. And they're really, really sticky, right? So now, what I did really quickly, once the spirit started moving and the ideas were popping and bubbling, man, I just went in and I'm filling things out as fast as I can. And what you'll find that when you sit down and start to pre-write, you'll find the groove. And when that happens, you just want to get things out as fast as they come. Tip, when you're working through pre-writing, take your phone, turn it off, and put it in another room. Because you don't want to have any disturbances once the creativity starts popping and moving, right? So now, what do I have here? I have a completed outline. So now, tip, this is what yours should look like. Now, if, right, you have, say for example, you're going along and you're working and then you see that one of your examples looks like this, right? So in other words, all you can think of is one show. What does that tell you about this example? It's not going to fly. So what do you need to do? Early in the writing process, everybody, if you have something that's not going to work, you need to kick it and then plug in one of those backup examples, right? Early in the writing process, this is when you should be making your changes. Reason being is that when you have typed things out and then you recognize, ooh, that middle paragraph is really, really skimpy, that's just a bad paragraph. Well, guys, once you have things typed up, nobody wants to highlight, delete, and then work all your way back to the starting point and then bring it forward. No, it's not going to work. So early in the writing process, If you recognize something that's not going to fly, make the change. This is why we outline, right? So now, as we go through and we continue to work, you want to save all your pre-writing. This is why you want to have an area that nobody's going to come behind and clean things up. So now, once you've got all this, then you want to sit down and draft out your paper. So now you want to come up with a clear main idea that's going to list, right, your topic, your purpose in writing. As well, it's good. You want to list out those topics that give you each example: hard work, poor pay, and then the conditions. So now what we'll take a look at next will be with the 300-word essay and using the rule of 3, how that should look.